Here's my top 5 comic books featuring Reverse Flash. And before I get into it, I just want to point out that there's like 2 Reverse Flashes: Hunter Zolomon, otherwise known as Zoom; Eobard Thawne, otherwise known as Professor Zoom. It's all confusing, but they're also both the Reverse Flash. Very different motivations. So Hunter Zolomon actually wants to dress up like Eobard Thawne, dress up like the Reverse Flash, go back and terrorize, whether it's Wally West or Barry Allen. He wants to terrorize them to make them their best self. So he thinks that the tragedy that Eobard Thawne put the Flash through made him the best self. So he wants to go back and do that to whatever Flash it is, Wally West. And through that, he's going to make that Flash the best he can be. And through that, he's going to make the Flash save the world. And he thinks he's doing the Flash a favor. So that's Hunter Zolomon, otherwise known as Zoom. Eobard Thawne, different approach. He simply wants to terrorize the Flash because he lives in the future where the Flash is a martyr. People worship him, and that makes Eobard very jealous. So he just wants to actually make Flash's life a living hell. So here's top 5, plus 2 honorable mentions, plus 2 appearances by the Reverse Flash that I thought were really fun, but not significant enough roles to add to the top 5. Starting with Rogue War by Geoff Johns. The rogues are at war with one another. The Flash is caught in the middle, and the Reverse Flash is involved. This is one of my favorite Flash comics, period. Reverse Flash is in here. He is awesome. He doesn't play a gigantic role, but he does play a big enough role to include it on the list. And this is, like I said, one of the best Flash comics out there. The Flash Rebirth sees Barry Allen come back to the DC universe, and Ethan Van Sciver on art. He draws speedsters better than anyone, period. I absolutely love it. And this really sums up the feud between the Flash and the Reverse Flash very well. Probably my single favorite, maybe. Regardless, this is very worth a read. One of my favorite Flash comics. Flashpoint, of course, is on the list. The murder of Barry Allen's mom was done by the Reverse Flash. We all know it. It's barely a spoiler. But Flashpoint really puts that front and center, and Barry goes back to save his mom, changing the universe. You probably understand the story. But compared to the movie, which didn't have Reverse Flash in it at all, huge mistake. He's in this one. I mean, he was a part of that whole thing. He's the reason the Flashpoint exists, and it's really cool to see him even fighting Thomas Wayne, what Thomas Wayne does to him at the end. It's all really cool. Definitely worth a read if you're looking for the Reverse Flash. Then Mark Waid's Flash run. This is the book 2. Maybe it's called the Complete Collection. I don't know. But in this volume here, you have the story called The Return of Barry Allen. And spoiler alert, Barry Allen comes back, but it's really Reverse Flash acting as Barry Allen, doing a bunch of villainous things, and people get concerned and curious about what the hell's going on. It turns out to be a villain the whole time. This is a classic story and definitely a must-read for the Reverse Flash. Then Joshua Williamson's Finish Line. This is kind of the conclusion, I think, of his Flash run, Rebirth era. The run technically continues, but I don't think with Williamson anymore. But this is an amazing run with the Reverse Flash. It is the art and the story and the feud is all just like coming to a head here. Really solid, and I don't think it's talked about enough, really, but one of the absolute best for Reverse Flash. It's a must-read. And honorable mentions, the New 52 Flash Volume 8, just titled Zoom. This is a really cool look into the character. I mean, it might even be Hunter Zolomon. I mean, I don't know. It gets confusing, like I said, but the Reverse Flash is here, and he is a menace. He starts this book off by haunting Barry Allen in a way that he doesn't even know it's Reverse Flash yet. Definitely a really cool just battle with the Flash and the Reverse Flash. The Flash's dad finally gets out of jail, whether it's legal or not, whatever it is. But this is an awesome comic for the feud of Reverse Flash and Flash. Geoff Johns' The Flash, Book 3, has another amazing battle with the Reverse Flash. I think it's a little overrated, just a teeny bit, because it's not on my top 5, and that's kind of why the art and maybe the story doesn't really live up to the other ones. In my opinion, that's not a popular opinion, so definitely worth checking out. Now we're on to the small appearances by the Flash, and Batman and the Flash, the Button, has a really awesome appearance by the Reverse Flash. If you want to see this speedster beat the crap out of Batman, this is where you look. The art is absolutely gorgeous, and like I said, Batman gets his shit wrecked, so that is really fun to see in itself. And this is a really weird one, but it has a special place in my heart because Sinestro Corps War is one of the first comics I ever read, and the first issue of, I mean, this collection collects it in different forms, but the main Sinestro Corps War first issue shows the Justice League taking down the Reverse Flash, and that's all it is, but I think it's just so fun to see the whole Justice League fighting Reverse Flash. I would love to see more of that, and it's Ethan Van Sciver on art in that issue, so it's beautifully drawn, and to see this powerhouse fighting the Justice League is a lot of fun, and Green Lantern, spoiler alert, ultimately comes in and takes him down. But I think it's just so fun, and it's something I want a lot more of.